weekend sees the return of the FA Cup, a big chance for some clubs to get their hands on some silverware, but also some chances for some smaller clubs to edge a little bit closer to glory. Who's going to take advantage this weekend? We'll take a little look next. Give another prediction video today. We look forward to the quarter-final stages of this year's FA Cup, and we'll get to that in just one second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe to keep your bag up to date. All things Babylon related, FA Cup related, world football related. We're all here, boys, under one roof. Of course, Rovers exited the cup a long time ago, at the first time of asking, against Wigan. But of course, now we're into the final 8. Who's going to take advantage of it? Of course, we'll take a look at it, all of it, in a minute. Of course, big shout out to my VIPs. They are the patrons, guys. They give it love, of course, behind the scenes. But anyway, let's kick on forward and have a look at how we all got to this. Well, not got to this stage, but of course recap the results of the last 16, and of course looking forward to the final 8, aka the quarterfinal. So here they come now. These are the results. Was there any surprises in here? I don't think so. Yeah, there was actually one clang, and we'll get to that in a minute. So Peterborough, they fought hard. Of course, 2-0 loss to Manchester City. We expected big, but just a 2-0 in the end for City as they go through to the quarterfinals. Crystal Palace will join them, 2-1 winners over Stoke. Called it, lads, absolutely called it. Meanwhile, Middlesbrough did force a surprise, of course, over Spurs, knocking them out over at the Riverside. They are a tricky unit to play, especially at a home venue, the Riverside. And of course, they'll be looking forward to the next round. I think they've got Liverpool. Or have they? They haven't got Liverpool. They've got, I don't know. We'll see in a minute. Of course, Luton Town made a game of it against Chelsea. 3-2 it was in the end for Chelsea, despite, I think, Luton, you've given them a right good old run for the money in the end. Southampton, of course, knocked out West Ham. Good win for them. 3-1 it was, 2-1 win for me. Forest, we'll get to Forest in a minute. Liverpool with a 2-1 win over Norwich City. 4-1 win was my eyes. Of course, Everton got past Bournemouth at the end. And of course, Forest did beat Huddersfield Town 2-1. Of course, 3-0 was me in the end. So yeah, that's of course the state of play for those 8 games, and I think I did pretty well in regards to my predictions. I think I just got the one wrong really, and that was the Middlesbrough one against Spurs. The rest were pretty much as you would expect. Of course, what about everybody else? Did they 8 is the score to beat? Well, 8. James FC got 8. Well done to you. I've got 7 there. So he got a clean sweep. Well done to you. Of course, what a start on the overall table as James FC taking advantage. He's up to 5th with that one, but of course, even is running away with it with 78 points. Of course, he's been there from the get-go. We did it, of course, with the predictions from match number 1. So that was round 1. So he managed to take full advantage of those early picks. So well done to him. It looks like he's got this game. So how many points are left? So there's what we got. We got 4 here, 6, 7 are left. So really, it's between him and Hussein and Shane O'Donnell, right? It's a 2-horse race. Wow. Of course, let's take a look at, of course, the link. If you want to get involved, maybe you can win the next one. Of course, make a statement of intent. But that's, of course, the link right there. Cut 4 shots FA Cup. These are the 4 games. There's only 4 into it, but let's take a look at the games in a bit of detail then. Kicking it all off with, of course, Saturday, March the 19th. A tricky one, of course, and a lot of controversy at the moment as Chelsea have started to bitch up a little bit because of their off-the-field dramas with, of course, Abramovich leaving. They want to have this game played behind closed doors because they can't send any away fans there. So, you know what? You created this mess, so you should be dealing with it. It's not like something else has gone on. It's you managed this shady operation with, of course, Abramovich and, of course, all the connections that he has with Putin and all that. You created this, so you should be dealing with it. To be honest with you, I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing it. If the FA or the footballing bodies or crumble and then allow this to be played behind closed doors, you know what? That's something's going on behind the scenes and stuff like that. They made the mess. They should be dealing with it. But anyway, and again, they should have enough in the tank anyway to go through. And I know, yes, the fans are going to miss out, but you know what? Whistle, sit on that, of course. And I like some, Chelsea traditional club and all that, but the dealings with the Abramovich scenario is just a little bit nasty. We don't want to dig into too much into that because it's to take it away from the heart of the matter, which is, of course, football. But you know what? Forget it. Just suck it up. You should have enough in the tank to beat these boys anyway. Anyway, so Middlesbrough, of course, will take on Chelsea at the Riverside, maybe behind closed doors. We'll see about that. They've played each other 30 times since 1995. Just 5 wins for Borough, 20 wins for Chelsea, and 5 draws, of course. Middlesbrough, though, just 1 defeat past 4 for them, 58% form. Up against the Chelsea side, of course, have won 5 of the last 6 games. Middlesbrough, though, have beaten, of course, Chelsea. Their biggest scoreline was a 3-0 win. The biggest win the other way was a 5-0 win for Chelsea. In fact, Chelsea has scored 45 goals compared to Middlesbrough's 15, of course, over the course of those 30 games, which works out around about 1.5 goals a game ratio compared to Middlesbrough's 0.5 goals game ratio. The last time they played each other at the Riverside was actually in the Premier League. It was a 1-0 win for Chelsea. That's back in November 2016, of course. That was in the Prem. Of course, Middlesbrough with a 0-0 draw against Millwall last time around. Of course, Chelsea with the 1-0 win over Newcastle. Of course, Chelsea are in action prior to this game, taking on Lille. Of course, this coming third Wednesday. So, of course, they've got that on the horizon to see if they can maintain their defence of the Champions League. The odds for this one, 30-2 is your Middlesbrough, 10-3 is your draw, 9-4 is your away. And again, I do believe there is no replays in this. It's either you got to win it or you don't. So, of course, I'm going to back Chelsea despite, of course, the hoodoo and all this kind of shit. They should have too much quality to beat Middlesbrough, even though Middlesbrough have knocked out United and Spurs in the process. They're doing this the hard way, and of course, they're knocking out whoever's in front of them. And again, the fact that they're playing at the Riverside could be monumental in, of course, their progress. So 2-0, yes, in fact, Chelsea should go through, but it's going to be a tight game in the end. Kicking off forward, a week Crystal Palace up against Everton coming at you on Sunday, March the 20th. Now, these two sides have played each other 24 times since 1984. 5 wins for Palace, 10 wins for Everton, and 9 draws, of course. Palace, though, unbeaten in the last 5, picking up 3 wins and 2 draws, 67% form. Up against Everton side, just 1 win in 5 for them, 33% form for them. They are in a bit of trouble, but of course, this could be a bit of a distraction from the Premier League duties. Of course, Crystal Palace's biggest win over Everton was a 3-1 win over the course of those 24 games, and Everton's biggest win over Palace was a 4-0 win. In fact, Everton scored 36 goals compared to Palace's 23, which works out around about 0.96 goals a game ratio for Palace and a 1.5 goals a game ratio for Everton. Coming at you though, last time round over at Selhurst Park was a 3-1 win. That's back in December 2021. Of course, they're going to play the reverse fixture over in Goodison Park in the Premier League later on this campaign. Coming at you though, Everton did lose to Wolverhampton Wanderers and haven't scored in back-to-back games. In fact, they haven't scored. They've scored just a couple of goals in the last. Oh my goodness, how many games? 5 games. 2 goals in the last 5. Those 2 goals were against Boreham Wood. Meanwhile, Crystal Palace, of course, coming into this fresh off the back of that 0-0 draw, exciting 0-0 draw against Manchester City as well. It's been back-to-back clean sheets for them. In the past couple of games as well. Looking on forward to this one then. Everton are actually 12-5 for the Richard 23-10 is your Palace. I think they are at the fancied on this one. 12-5 is your draw. I'd love to see Palace go through to myself. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for them at Selhurst Park to go through to the Final Four. Wow. Of course, good chance for them to maybe get some hands on silverware. Kicking off forward, though, it's Southampton up against Manchester City on this one then. Coming at you as well on Sunday, the 20th of March. Now, these two sides have played 36 times in 1983. 7 wins for Southampton, 20 wins for Man City, and 9 draws, of course. Southampton, though, 50% form for them right now. 3 defeats on the spin up against the Manchester City side. Unbeaten in the last 5 games. 67% form. However, back-to-back games without a win for them. Of course, their biggest win, City over Southampton, was a 6-1 win. The biggest win of the way was a 4-2 win. City have actually scored 67 goals compared to Southampton's 39 over the course of those 36 games, which works out around about 1.86 goals a game ratio for City and 1.08 goals a game for Southampton. Coming at you though, last time they played each other over at St Mary's, it was a draw. That was back in, of course, January 2022. They also played each other at the Etihad. It was a 0-0 draw this campaign as well. So back-to-back games unbeaten for Southampton up against Manchester City. Of course, City did draw with Palace last time, back-to-back draws for them, back-to-back clean sheets as well. As for Southampton, they did lose to Watford last time, which was a bit of a surprise to most of us. Kicking off, although the odds for this one, what are we looking at? 8-1 is your Southampton major underdogs here. 10-3 on is your City. Of course, 19-4 is your draw. City should have too much in the tank here. 3-1 for them. They want to win this. They want to get some silverware. Of course, they didn't win the League Cup this year, and they're still competing on 3 fronts with the Champions League, with the Premier League, and of course the FA Cup. So they're on for a trouble here. Of course, if they were to do this, it will be one step closer to that. And then finally, but I think probably the closest game that we're going to have this weekend, and I think one of the most exciting games that we're going to have. It is Forest, it is Liverpool, and it is over at the City Ground, of course, coming at you on the 20th of March. Now, these two sides have played each other 8 times since 1994, just 1 win for Forest, 4 wins for Liverpool, and 3 draws, of course. Forest, though, unbeaten in the last 6, 75% form for them right now. They, in fact, haven't lost in the last 8, winning 3 of the last 4 as well. Up against the Liverpool side, just 1 defeated past 6 for them, 83% form for them at the moment. Of course, Forest's biggest win over Liverpool, just a 1-0 win. Of course, it was only a win. Meanwhile, Liverpool's biggest win over Forest was a 5-1 win. In fact, Forest have scored just 10 goals compared to Liverpool's 18 over the course of those 8 games, which works out around about 2.25 goals game ratio for Liverpool and a 1.25 goals game ratio for Forest. This gives a good chance for us to see Stevie Cooper as a manager up against probably one of the best, if not the best manager, not only in the Premier League and probably in world football, of course, Kloppy boy. So a good chance for him to flex his muscles. Of course, he's been flexing his muscles for Swansea, and now, of course, he's doing very, very well for Forest. Of course, he already ousted Arsenal in the process of this cup, of course, and now he's taken on, of course, another juggernaut in the process. of course, last time they played each other over at the City Ground, and wasn't the Premier League. It was all the way back in April 1999. It was a 2-2 draw. While we, in fact, the last two games they played each other over at the City Ground. They, of course, have been back-to-back games without losing. In fact, they haven't lost the last 3 times they played each other over at the City Ground. So that's, of course, some food for thought for this game. So, and I think this could be quite tight. Is there going to be a surprise on the offering? I don't know. Of course, Forest do come on the back of a 4-0 win over Reading, and of course Liverpool did beat Brighton 2-0. Of course, Forest are in action against QPR. Of course, tonight, I can say tonight, even though it's still technically Tuesday. And of course, Liverpool will take on Arsenal as well, same day. So busy weeks for both of these two teams, and of course, two classic clubs who both won the Champions League. I'm going to throw that in as well. 10-1 is your Forest, 4-1 on is your Liverpool, 5-1 is your bloody draw. Back, of course, the 2-0 win for Liverpool here, even though I really would like to see Forest upset the apple cart here and join a Palace in there. Imagine if it was a Palace Forest semi-final and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it looks like the big boys are probably going to go through. Your Chelseas, your Cities, your Liverpools, but Crystal Palace being in the mix, of course, could be a bit of a spicy one later on. But anyway, that's, of course, the state of play there. What about the odds for the title, for the trophy itself? Forest are 50-1, long shots. Middlesbrough are up there alongside as well, 50-1. Of course, both sides in the Championship. Both sides, it could be Premier League bound next season. Of course, Southampton 16-1 to lift the trophy. Palace 12-1 into the final 4. Now we go, in fact, Crystal Palace and Everton are both 12-1, so they're joint 4th favourites. Chelsea, of course, 3rd favourites, 4-1. Liverpool 9-4, and Manchester City are 7-4 to go the distance. That's, of course, the odds at the moment. Of course, get involved. Cut your Fortress FA Cup. Get your name in lights, boys, and of course, we'll see you next time around, whenever that is. It will be the semi-finals. Of course, we'll go into the deeper end on this one. But until then, smash the thumbs up, smash it up, subscribe, check the links down below. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Patreon. But until then, boys, we're done right now.